What's up, guys? I'm back with another video. Now today I'm going to be getting into another story time. I know how much I haven't been consistent on my story time, so I might as well get consistent then. I'm going to be telling you about a recent work experience at Starbucks, which is the place I'm currently still employed at. I'm going to be telling y'all about this confrontation I had with a customer. Now, I think I may have said a couple more in the past, but they weren't as serious as this one. This was the one that also almost cost me a 10-day suspension, and I will tell you why. It didn't end well for neither the customer or me. So anyway, before I get into how I basically almost got suspended, I feel like y'all are here and y'all are ready to dive on into my personal stories, but you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, and that's a personal issue for Waylon. I'm gonna need you to go ahead and hit that for me. And also, you might want to show some more support and hit that like button as well. Follow all my socials. I post there most constantly. I'm actually in more contact with that more than YouTube, sadly. You can reach me at my TikTok, my Instagram. I don't have a business email yet, but I will soon. And also, when you hit that subscribe button, I'm gonna also need you to hit that post notification bell so you'll never miss when I post another video. You do not want to miss an upload, especially these rare little uploads that I'm posting. Trust me, like, bro, too good. Banger after banger after banger coming all 22. Now, anyway, with all that being said and all that out of the way, I suggest we go ahead and dive on in to how I almost lost my job. Let's do it. So I don't think I stated this correctly, but I'm thinking y'all know in my past story times that I've worked at Starbucks for a pretty good amount of time, almost a year and a couple months. So I've been working since late August, and I've been working since late August of last year, and it's March now, so that's like half a year, or like a little over half a year, 7 months at max, 7 months. So I've been working there, and I've been dealing with some shit. There was some shit that happened at my old store. I wasn't comfortable there. I really don't like going to that store unless in the mornings when I'm getting my usual markouts and my other shit. But I transferred stores, and I will tell y'all about that maybe in another video, not this one. But I transferred stores. So yeah, there's that. And, it's just like Starbucks, it's not really a great place to be, but they do pay well. That's the thing. They do pay well. You would think that like a place where, making drinks and like coffee and like a cafe, basically, you would think that it'd be cool. Really not the best. But anyway, let me dive on into how this issue began. So I'm in a drive-thru. I think my shift was 11 to 3, and you already know me. Whenever the end of my shift hits, that's when I'm gone. Like, I'm ready to go. So anyway, I've already set up prep and stuff, and it was the last 5 minutes of my shift. So the shift, also known as like the manager, he told me that I had to maintain on drive-thru. And you know what? I was like, okay, yeah, cool. I have no problem with being on drive-thru, especially since it's my last 5 minutes. Do what I gotta do and then dip. And also, drive-thru, even though it was one of the most, like, the worst places to work at during your shift, I just wanted the shift to be over, and I felt like drive-thru would pass the time because you really didn't have to do anything. So anyway, I'm in the drive-thru, and I get a little boo. The thing in your headset. All my fast food workers, y'all know what I'm talking about? That little ding in your headset that lets you know that somebody's in the drive-thru who wants to order. So I got that in my ear, and I said, "Hello, welcome to Starbucks. How can I help you today?" And they just sat there. And also, I know what y'all thinking, like, oh, well, maybe he wasn't pulled in all the way, or maybe he wasn't. This dude had no earbuds in, like, no music playing, no, like, call on, didn't even have his window up. He was just sitting out there with a window. Like how you have your arm out of the window when you're right here? he was doing that. And the only reason why I knew he was doing that was because we have a little drive-through camera where we could see our customers, so that way we could provide a so-called better, closer experience, which is another reason why I don't like Starbucks, but I'm working there. So anyway, when he didn't answer me the first time, I decided to ask again. So I asked again, and he was still sitting there. So at this point, I thought there was something wrong with my headset. It's very hard to hear in drive-through, and it not only goes for us, it goes for the customers too, because the customers have to have us repeat and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a lot. So anyway, I asked him again, and I turned up my headset louder. I said, "Hello, welcome to Starbucks. How can I help you today?" And I didn't say it in that tone, but I said it in a nicer tone because, I'm in my white voice. Now, my white professional, actually, I'm not going to call it white, my professional voice. So, in my professional voice, I'm more considerate. I don't have an attitude. I don't have a tone. Even though this is how I regularly talk, I talk a whole different way in the drive through, and I have to get that switch on. I have a code switch for certain things, which is something that I'm working on. I realize that it's not healthy to have a code switch. You should be yourself regardless of what you're around, but sometimes as a black male you have to. So anyway, when I basically damn near ear raped the drive through, I just decided to say, well, let me know if you need a minute to decide what you want, because I'm guessing he was looking at the menu. He said, let me know what you decide on the menu. And then he decided to add on and say, "Ugh, it was about time." Now hold on, hold on, let me. So at that point, I'm angry, because it's just I basically screamed in your ear many times about it. And this was when the tension started to arise, but I had to bring it back down to earth. I was like, "Galen, you need to be at earth right now, and you're all the way through the atmosphere. You need to take it down a notch." So I was like, okay. I said, "How can I help you?" And I'm gonna be sounding a little bit too professional. I don't know if all my white girls understand this, but he basically asked for a grande iced caramel macchiato, upside down, with an extra shot, and vanilla sweet cream cold foam with extra caramel drizzle. If that is a bitch drink, if I heard one. And the thing is, it was a bitch drink. It was. So, and then he asked for a cheese Danish as well, which they're good, but I'm not really a big cream cheese fan, so I wouldn't know. So anyway, I took his order and I said, "Is there anything else I can help you with?" And then he just pulled around to the second window, and I'm like, okay, well, this guy, and I'm guessing he was trying to rush me, because when he pulled up to the window, he had his card in his hand, just handing it out to me. And I was like, oh, well, I see you're a rude one. And I'm saying, I guess you're having a bad day today, or you're just trying to get up out of here. So I took his card, and ooh, this was one of the most happiest moments. And it's just, just thinking about it right now just makes me want to scream it to the rooftops. No, because his shit went beep beep beep. I know what y'all know what that means. Declined, also known as bankrupt, also known as no money on my card. All of that shit. So when I seen that, I was ready. I had all my insults, and I was about to call him a bankrupt bitch. I was gonna call him a fucking rude customer who's broke as fuck. I had all the insults ready. But in spite, I was thinking if I did this, it wouldn't be polite, and also I could risk losing my job. So I decided to open the window, and I said, "Excuse me, sir, do you have another form of payment?" And then he said, "Why?" And I'm like, "Well, your thing didn't go through." And he said, "You probably didn't do it right. Let me see." And I was like, okay. So I get my card machine, and I scan his card right in front of him, and it declined right in his face. And when it declined right in his face, he said, "You're probably not doing it right. Use the chip." Declined. So then he had an attitude with me, talking about, you just like, I don't understand how you work at Starbucks and you don't know how to take payment correctly. Wait. Do you want to come in here and work my shift? Because I could clock out and go. Like, I have 2 minutes left on my shift, and I really don't have time to deal with you. So, he said, like, as soon as I said, well, sir, like, I can't, you can have your car back. I'm just saying, like, I can't give you your items until I have your payment. And there was this thing where we had to hand them their drink and their items first before paying. So, but I didn't hand him his drink out yet, and he was just waiting, like he had his item. So anyway, he gave his cash instead, and I don't understand how cash can decline. So of course, so when I took his cash and I gave him his drink, he said that it was the wrong way, and I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "This isn't enough cold foam. I asked for extra cold foam." You didn't ask for none of that. When I tell you guys, he said straight up that he just wanted some vanilla sweet cream cold foam. He did not say that at the window. And I know because other people were listening. Because if other people were listening, they would have gave him extra cold foam. So he said that I'm not taking this drink. I want extra cold foam. Mind you, cold foam is like meant to be a centimeter, like in the like flat lid. So the flat lid, it has a centimeter, that's regular, like a regular size cold foam. For extra cold foam, it would probably take up near half the cup, which also is a very big waste of money knowing how expensive that is. That's $1.25 added to your drink. Like, are you serious? Do you want that? So anyway, I'm getting mad with him and I'm saying, well, sir, I don't know what you want to say. He said, well, I'm not taking this drink. I want it remade. And then I said, well, sir, I can't take that drink. You already took a sip out of it. That is that's a health code violation. We're not allowed to take in drinks after a sip has been taken out of it because it could contaminate the whole store, basically, since we have their handprints on it and their lip prints on it. Yeah, that's a health code violation. So when I told him that he couldn't do that, he said, well, I don't want it, and I want to speak to your manager. And at this point, I'm getting angry. And then I said, well, you don't need to speak to the manager. We could just remake the drink for you. He said, no, I just want some extra cold foam, and I'm not leaving till I get it. So, like, let me speak to your manager. And I said, no. He said, well, why can't I? And I'm saying, because, like, there's no reason to. And then he said, I don't, like, why are you doing? No, he said, well, I'm not leaving. And I said, well, get the fuck out my drive-thru. So when I said get the fuck out which I do regret saying that. So I think he said something. No, I don't think he said something like that, but he said something like, why are you being so irritating? He said, well, if I'm being so irritating, get the fuck out my drive-thru. And I said, my manager will really go off on you. And then at this point, we were like going back and forth, and then he decided to pull back, and I was confused because I was like, what was he pulling back for? So I closed the window because, like, it's 2:58. I got 2 minutes left, so I'm like ready to go. And as I'm ready to go, I see him, but he pulls up farther from the window, and that's when I get really confused. And then I just see him step out of his car, and y'all already know me. Like, my anger was already at an all-time high, and he knocks on the window. So when I open it, well, actually, before I opened it, I decided to go ahead and get ready. And so I open the window, and I take a couple steps back, and he's just arguing. He's saying, I don't understand how you could be so disrespectful and rude. You're like, is this how all the staff is here? Y'all are so unprofessional. I never met any place so rude. And so I was mad. Like, that's when I was getting mad, because it was at a point where he was trying to climb through the window. And then eventually, the employee, it started grasping the employees and the customers' attention as they see me taking off my apron and my beanie that I was wearing. And as I was tying my shoes a little tighter and getting ready to, get into that. And nigga had the slip resistance on, so you already know shit was about to start popping. And then he's yelling at me, and I'm just keeping a calm tone. I'm not arguing back. I didn't say nothing. And then the manager, as I'm like edging closer, the like manager or the current store manager has to jump in, and he decides to ask what happens. And then, whoo, this is where it took me for a while. Now at this point, this isn't. You know what? Do you know Waylon? Waylon, you know, sweet Waylon. Let me. I have two different sides of myself. So the current side you're tapping in with is Waylon. So Waylon is a guy who's friendly. He doesn't start any problems. He's nice to customers. He's nice to people in general. He loves being happy and stuff like that. Sometimes he's sad, but he gets over it just by a simple smile at him. So yeah, Waylon is a very nice individual to talk to. As far as the other side, I like to call Brandon. Now, Brandon, he is a guy who doesn't give a fuck. He gets angry, a lot angry, and does some crazy shit when he's himself. And also, he is ready to throw hands, say all types of shit. And so, when the manager asked what happens, the guy said, I don't understand why a black boy is not doing his job correctly, even though he works at Starbucks. And I was like, wait. I was like, wait a minute. Who is you calling a black boy? You know, I have a name tag right here. You can see it. Pronounce it the way you want. He said, this black boy doesn't know how to do his job. And when I tell you, I went off and showed my entire ass. And I'm saying, I really don't. I was saying a whole bunch of shit. I was saying, you country white cracker. I don't understand why you calling me a fucking white boy. I mean, not a white boy, a black boy. I was saying all this shit. He said, I don't understand why you called me a black boy when you literally spit on the floor and rub that shit in, you fucking beer chucking bitch. I swear to God, like, if you don't go get Sandy and marry her already instead of singing about her all the time, you country white bitch. I was saying all types of shit. You're Caucasian. You get sunburned for standing in the sun for too long. And you want to be fucking darker, but you're getting tans. So I was just like going off. I was calling country. And then eventually, after I let all that out, I stopped. But then he still went. And I think the like manager was really on my side because he knows that, like, you know, Galen, he comes in here, he does his job correctly. He manages, he like helps customers. He's nice to customers. In fact, he's nice to employees. He's nice to me. He doesn't really want to start problems. He explains himself correctly. So it's just like, if I'm this mad, then obviously you were the problem. You were the provoker. If you provoke somebody, there's going to be, you know, a thing where it hits you back, like it hits you in the face. So he decided to, you know, hold his hand out and has the person stand back and saying, I'm going to need you both to calm down or else I'm going to have to get legal like things involved, like, you know, federal services involved. So he went hush mode, and you already know me. I don't mess with federal time. So like, you already know me. Like, I gotta stay quiet, because like, you already seen me. Like, if I were to swing on him, yeah, that would have been it. So, he said, Galen, I thought you were supposed to leave already. And he said, I know, but I was handling this drive-through order. And he pulled back and he banged on the window really hard. And then he said, you know what? It's okay. I'll handle it from here. I'm going to just need you to go home. And so I go to the back and I'm just like, at this point, like, Brandon has been like deaded. So like at this point, Brandon is dead. Like, he's gone. And Waylon starts to come back and his sensitivity starts to knock out. So I was literally like packing all my shit, like getting all the shit I needed. I was literally like crying. Like, there were tears falling out my eyes. And because of just how mad and how I just let somebody really just consume and mess up the rest of my shift. So at this point, I'm like trying to hold back my tears and try my best not to go back and swing on that fucking white country bitch. And I was just trying my best. So, I was really trying my best not to, you know, let him get the best of me and not let him mess up my day, even though he really did. Because as on my way home, my dad got mad at me for having my AirPods in, even though I was clearly upset. And I said that if you continue talking to me any kind of way, I'm probably going to cuss you out, not even going to hold you. So anyway, went home and my manager, the head of the store, he texted me. He said, I heard something happen and I'm going to need you here tomorrow. Mm. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. And even worse, it was on my off day. It was on my off day. So I knew I had to deal with that crap on my off day. So I really wasn't feeling that at that point. So at this point in time, I'm just like mad and I'm upset. I went home and I cried my eyes out. I'm just saying I don't understand how I'm in the wrong when he was clearly being ignorant and disrespectful to me when I was really just trying to take his order. And he's mad because his payment declined because he's broke. So I was like mad. I was going off to myself. Like I swear, I would have looked like a crazy person. Like I was looking like a crazy person. And I went to the meeting tomorrow, and the manager said, um, "I want you, out of all honesty, to tell me what happened." So I told him everything that happened. I told him how it all went down, about how he was being very rude to me and I wasn't messing with that, and how I was trying my best to hold my stability, but when he banged on the window, I wasn't really feeling that. And then he said, "Well, yeah, your story matches up with the security, and there's got to be I saw sometimes that you really like you were cursing at him and you were calling him all sorts of slurs. That's what you're focused on, what I called him? How about the time when he called me a young, dumb teenager who's a black boy? Like, why are we focused on that right now? Why are we focused on that?" So anyway, he said when I explained that to him, he said, "Oh yeah, right, you did say that. So you know what?" He said, "I'll tell you what. You're all clear. We're just gonna go ahead and speak to him, but you will be on a 10-day suspension." See, 10-day suspension, and the pay. By the way, the paycheck is based off of 14 days, and the 10-day suspension that he put me on, I would be working only 2 days, which means I would only have 2 days of my paycheck, which is why I really wasn't messing with that. I was angrier. I went home and then they reviewed me and they said, "You know what, you don't have to be on a 10-day suspension because we realized that you weren't really wrong, you've been done wrong and stuff." So I was kind of happy about that, but still, Starbucks, you gotta have some guts to like, keep it all in. But anyway, that wraps up this story time. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully pray for me because I really want to get another job besides Starbucks or have this YouTube thing work out. So anyway, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.